I don't know about you, but I've always felt like an underdog. Yep, it's true. I have always felt like, I don't know, I was canceled out, right? I was thrown to the side, kind of elbowed out because of just bad choices. I have 4 kids. I'm still working on my higher degree. I maybe don't look the part that a lot of people would love me to look. I'm an underdog. And if you are too, if this resonates with you, then I'm going to share with you why grant writing may be for you if you're not already in this space. Being a funding expert, I really feel like is for the underdogs. And I think that it gives you the freedom that you look for. I think that it gives you fulfillment, the opportunity to get within community in a respectable way, in a way that's needed. And so if you're an underdog, get ready. This episode is for you.
Welcome to Nothing for Granted, a space for aspiring grant writers who are tired of feeling undervalued, underpaid, and overworked by your understaffed nonprofit. Hi, my name is Eliana, grant writer, grants consultant, and freelance coach for Christian entrepreneurs. I live for long-distance cycling rides, iced chai lattes, and outdoor adventures with my 4 little beasts. I teach you grant writing strategies and freelance tactics that set you apart when launching and scaling your Holy Spirit-led business. I too was paralyzed by those questions. So paralyzed, in fact, that I launched my business twice, thinking maybe I should take another training because, underqualification. Well, 5 certifications on my wall later. But what if I told you that with a little basic knowledge and next to no experience, you too could launch a successful and sustainable freelance grant consulting business while pursuing that degree, raising littles, and maybe getting a tan on the beach? Permission granted to stop feeling guilty over leaving behind that organization that has you stagnant and to confidently and boldly step into the most elevated version of who you were created to be. You're here for encouragement, accountability, and a slight tough love kick in the butt. No goals, just standards. Lace up your combat boots, tighten up that ponytail. Girl, it's time to get to work.
All right, Visionary, thank you so much for joining me in today's episode. I want to share with you that I'm going to be releasing a course very, very soon, for those of you who are founders and you want to learn what I do. Okay. You maybe don't have the funds to hire an expert, but you have the staff capacity, or you yourself have the capacity to learn this skill. This is a skill that will never go out of style. It's always going to be needed. You are always going to need to find community sponsors, right? Whether you're hosting a grand opening, whether you're hosting an event, if you're trying to gain brand and business exposure, if you are trying to raise capital, if you're trying to get investors, like this skill that I'm going to teach you through this course is something that you will use forever. It doesn't even matter if you close down this business and open another business. Once you know how to do this, literally your opportunities are endless. And so if you want to get on the wait list for that, go ahead and send your email in. You can do that at Funding and Freelance. Go ahead and fill out the questionnaire there. And that way you can get in on our email list and you will be placed on the wait list so that once more information is released, you're one of the first to know. You have one of those first spots there, okay? And yeah, go ahead and do that now. I will list the rest of the things in the description down below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and talk to you underdogs. I want to preface by saying that I am in no way shaming you for being an underdog, okay? I think that, like I said, I would consider myself to be an underdog. Why? I'm a former addict. I dropped out of college a few times, and I'm still working on getting my higher degree. And so for me, when I was working in corporate America, I had to prove myself. I really had to work long hours. I had to prove my worth. And that's how I was able to make it in corporate America. But not everybody has that story, right? Not everybody wants to work corporate America. Not everyone is even given that chance, whether you have a criminal record or whatever the case is. Chances are you've been canceled out, you've been written out, and people don't think that you're going to be able to make a career out of pretty much anything. But grant writing is one of the very few professional, respectable careers and skills that you can build a full-blown life out of and make as much money, if not more, as your regular businessman, doctors, dentists. Like literally, there is no cap. So let's get into the 5 reasons why becoming a funding expert is for you if you're an underdog. So number 1, it's never too late to learn this skill. Like I mentioned previously, this is a skill that will never go out of trend. It is always going to be needed. It's like haircuts, okay? It is impossible for you to build a business on your own. You need to collaborate with other people, okay? You need to collaborate with lateral markets. You need to collaborate with cross industries, like whatever the case is, because you cannot do this on your own. You need to build reputability. And in order to do that, you need to build a network. You have to have a community. And so this skill is something that you can learn at 18 years old. You can learn it at 50 years old. This is a skill that you can learn at any point in time, especially now with the rise of digital courses. There's so many ways that you can learn this new skill in a way that is self-paced, in a way if you need something more intensive, there's more intensive courses. Now, I will say this, I have looked to see, of course, I need to do my own market research. I have looked around to see if anyone is offering a course like what I am going to be launching. I haven't seen anything like it. I've seen people that teach grants research. I've seen people that teach grant writing. I've seen people that teach influencer marketing, for example. But somebody that teaches an entire packet and how to do that in a business to business way, so not influencer marketing, but like business to business influencer marketing, there's nothing like it out there. And so my course is very distinct in that way, and it is a holistic teaching that I'm offering. So again, if you want dibs on that, be sure to join Funding and Freelance community page. Number 2, like I mentioned, this is always in need. Not only can you learn this at any point in your life, but this is something that is always needed. I don't care if you're working with an influencer, an entrepreneur and CEO, a nonprofit organization, an agency. This is something that every single level of business is going to need. Why? Because as an individual, for example, influencer, most of them don't even know how to properly formulate a pitch. They don't know how to formulate a deck. If they're doing a retreat, they don't know how to approach bigger corporations in order to secure money and not just in-kind donations. Like there's so many, and they don't really understand that negotiation process. So this is something that is always in need. There's always a gap in that sponsorship, collaboration, grants sphere that will need to be filled. And as a funding expert, you have all of the tools that you need in order to do that. So number 3, you don't need a fancy schmancy degree, okay? Like I said, you can learn this at any time. This is a skill that's always in need, and you don't need a PhD to do it. Isn't that the best part? Literally anyone can become a funding expert. There's no pre-knowledge that you need, no education that you need other than knowing how to read and write, and some pretty basic computer knowledge. But you don't need to go to school for 6 years to become a grants professional. That's not a thing. People learn through trial and error. That is literally how people build their businesses as freelancers and owners of grant writing and consulting firms. Everything is trial and error. You literally let life teach you, right? And you have peers that help you through that. But you don't need a degree. So those of you that say, I don't have the money to go back to school. I don't have the time. I can't do this because I don't have a BA. Like, who cares? You don't need one. I think that's the best part about this career. You don't need one. Number 4, it's you can create a life of total freedom through this career. If you follow me on Instagram, and that's at Buffalo Ambition Co., then I travel often, okay? I'm not talking about like overseas or anything like that, but we definitely travel a lot. We take a lot of just mini staycations. And I love it. I love that I can bring my laptop along and I can work. I love that I don't have to compromise the things that are important to me in exchange for this career. I'm not tied down to my desk. I can work from anywhere. I can work the times that are convenient for me. I can work with clients that I genuinely want to work with, not am forced to work with. I work with who I want to work with people that align to my core values. And so I have so much freedom throughout that. Why would I trade that for a 9-to-5, right? And number 5 is pretty much anything that you know from your previous life, you can apply to this profession. Literally. What do you know? Oh, I used to work, front desk admin for a rec center. Cool. So you know something about the way that rec centers work. Perfect. There you go. There's your niche. Like, guys, literally anything that you know from a previous life, you can apply to this profession. All you have to do is learn more about it, obviously, but you can apply anything that you know from your previous life to this profession. The more you know about that thing, then of course, the easier it's going to be for you to build success around that niche. But you can build this out of your interest. You can build it out of the things that you're passionate about, the advocacy issues that you're passionate about. Like, there's no limit. There's anything that you already know you can use to your advantage if you know how to leverage that. So I want you to really consider this as pretty much the number 1 career you can build as an underdog. Visionary, thank you so much for joining me in today's episode. I hope that you now have a newfound perception of what being a funding expert entails, why this is the number 1 career for those of you who have been canceled out by culture, by society. I hope that this brings you newfound confidence as you build a life for yourself. And if you haven't already, please leave a review at the end of this episode so that we can reach even more people, reach the nations, and as always, expand the kingdom of God. All right, I hope you have a blessed rest of your week, and I will catch you in the next one.
Before you go, don't forget to rate, review, and share this podcast with a friend that needs to hear it. See you in next week's episode.